Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Karn Eldrazi Ramp on the play for game one. I'll keep. Initially, I wasn't thinking I was going to, but after looking at it, it's looking pretty good. We got either turn 2 command or turn 2 Karn, depending on what we're up against. Imprint the Emrakul. Cast Talisman. Does Talisman resolve? It does. That does make me hopeful. Because, I mean, if they turn on Thoughtseize, Command, or Karn, neither are good choices for them to let me have. Wooded Foothills, Steam Vents. I'm thinking this is Prowess at a glance. Looking like Prowess. Okay. Draw Chrysalis. So I'm thinking here is going Gemstone, K Command. I suppose I don't need to cast K Command now, or not in game 2 where there's Consign, so game 1 we can play a little bit more defensively with our command. At the same time, I don't want them sculpting their hand. My idea here is if we get rid of Darcy and then cast Karn next turn, if we draw into a land, then I'll be able to play Trinisphere immediately. Again, don't think they have a force, otherwise I feel like they would have forced my Talisman. I'll pass. And hold. The off chance that's relevant. Bloodstained Mire, fetch. Mountain, 4. Quarry Steel Cut, okay. And passes. Land, Mycospawn. So the alternative here is I could kick Mycospawn. Get rid of a Steam Vents. Make it harder for them to cast. Be down to 1 mountain, so set back a turn. I'm thinking that I'm going to go with a forest for Utopia Sprawl, because that'll act as basically a lab here, rather than going for a temple, and that will also allow me to cast a Writhing Chrysalis. We already have a red source, so I'm tempted to go blue here. That we can have access to Null Drifter on the off chance it becomes irrelevant. Again, 1 land off of casting Karn into Trinisphere. And since they only cast Quarry Steelcutter, it tells me that they do not have a 0 mana value spell to re-trigger Quarry Steel, so they'll need multiple 1 mana value spells here. There's the Preordain, there's Quarry Steelcut, Monastery Swift Spear does get triggered. We do have a blocker. They could have a Mutagenic Growth. Well, I guess they could have targeted my creature with Mutagenic, but probably not the right move. If they attack, it tells me that they probably do have Mutagenic. So it looks like they do. I mean, if I block the Monk, it gets trampled over. I block the Monastery Swift Spear, it dies, right? So give and take there, I do suppose. The alternative is I don't attack at all, and unless they have 3 Mutagenic Growths, that would be the first time, that's 6, 12, plus 4, it'd be 16 damage. I will block No matter what, we're blocking 3 points of damage, right? I'll block the Swift Spear. Let's see the mutagenic growth targeting the monk. Like I said, no matter what, I'm blocking 3 points of damage. Yep, there's the growth targeting the monks. We'll take the 4. Megaspawn will die. Cavernous Souls. Okay, so we can go a couple directions now. I can go Writhing Chrysalis, or I can go Karn directly into Trinisphere. It means no matter what, we'll end up taking probably 3 damage, but they also have to deal with Karn, so Karn acting as a damage soak here probably will work in my favor. So I'll cast Karn. Minus Karn. Yes. Trinisphere. Cast Trinisphere. And pass. Alright, so now Karn will act as a 3 damage soak, basically. They can't let Karn just stick, otherwise we're going to grab EE and the like, right? So that should preserve my life total, allow me to then cast Chrysalis the following turn. Karn will also add a type to the yard, so it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Will be 1 land off after casting Chrysalis. Yep, and both at Karn. Perfect. So Karn down. And draw. Okay, that's the land we need for the Emrakul the following turn. In range 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes. Is there any reason for me to play a land? If they destroy one of the spawns, then yes. So I will play Lab, no Imprint, and then pass. And next turn we can cast Emrakul. End step. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Return Emrakul to hand. Windswept Teeth. We can use it actually to discount one further. So Windswept Teeth, fetch. 5 types in yard. And opponent scoops it up. Alright. Win for game 1. Let's move on to game 2. Alright, so let's bring in Dismember, Trinisphere, EE. I'm going to keep Chalice out, because I think Chalice is best played on the play and not on the draw. I will cut Karn. We can cut Ghost Quarter. And then 2 more. Let me take a look at my sideboard guide. I've been tweaking it using both play data and hand data. It's been a work in progress. On the draw. That's right, I chose not to bring in Dismembers. The numbers into energy were pretty and it's a large enough value or large enough cards played or times cast that it seems statistically relevant, so Dismember probably not the best option. So if we just cut the 2 Dismembers, we should be fine then. Yes. Okay. That I agree with. Yeah, it's I don't think people necessarily know how much like time goes into these sideboard guides because there's a lot of hemming and hawing of like, well, this card's good in this matchup, but the play data doesn't show it. This card doesn't do well in this matchup, but yeah, it's a ton of work. I've just been racking my brain for like the last hour with that. I'll keep this and pass. We do want to find another land so we can play the return on 2. Return also has been a little bit sketch in this matchup, but Null Drifter has been great, which suggests that exiling a return is good, right? There's the temple, so we'll go Stomping Ground, Shock, Utopia Sprawl. We have the Talismans, so I think we go for green here for Writhing Chrysalis. And we have red-green, because we really don't need double red most times. There's Steam Vent Shock. 2, 4. That is a bit concerning. Draw. K command. K command makes this more palatable. The question is how we want to proceed. Because I can K return right now and get rid of the Swift Spear. I was going to leave the Slick Shot Show Off to its own devices, right? Because I feel like in game 2 we really need to play at sorcery speed because it can sign. I think we K command the Monastery Swift Spear. And if we do that, I can play the Talisman. So play Talisman. Now we have a blue source on board. Cast K command. We'll then have a blocker on board. And done. And pass. Alright, they'll have the Slick Shot Show Off. There is not much we can do about it. So I'll pass. And now we more or less just hope we don't die. No matter what we played, unless we played very defensively, there was not much we could do. Preordain, that's 3 damage on board. 1 top, 1 bottom draw. So I'm at a theoretical 13. We have 3 lands now. Alright, they'll attack. No blocks. What you got, opponent? That's 7, down to 9. Okay. We get to survive another turn. They've used mutagenic growth, so we can threaten them in a couple ways. Another one? Jesus. Okay. Here's what I think we do in this case. I think that an engineered explosives is going to be the best option here, because they can't interact with EE as easily as they can with K return. They can always grow the Slick Shot Show Off past toughness of 2, but they can't protect it or make it indestructible. So I think that is likely the right choice. So let's go EE for 2. Done. This does mean the Talisman will go, so we don't want to play our other Talisman. I'm thinking whether or not I want to shock so we can play Mycospawn. I guess I don't need to shock. Actually, I would need to shock. We could also just wait a turn. There's no harm necessarily in doing so, right? We could wait, kick the Myco spawn, reduce a land. I could kick now, but I don't think that's the right move. Actually, no, I can't. 2, 4, 5. Yeah, never mind. If I shock, we could go Temple, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 5, 6 by comparison. At least that way we could play a 7-minute value spell, so I think I'll take the risk. Play the Breeding Pool and shock. It also gives us another blocker, right? Play the Myco spawn. And play Temple. And pass. And hold. Alright. I don't imagine they play the Slick Shot prior to combat. That would be a choice if they did. They're not going to cast a Quarry Steel Cut either, so we should have this turn free of damage, at least combat damage. Let's not belabor the point. Let's simply go for it now, right? They're not going to try and kill me. That'd be a waste of their time. We'll pass. They go to second main phase, and they're going to hold the Slick Shot. Oh boy. Let's play the Verdant Catacombs. Play a Talisman. Do I hold back the Sowing Myco spawn? It can't block the Slick Shot, but it could block a Monastery Swift Spear, Quarry Steelcut Monk Token, etc., right? So I think we do hold back and hope they do not have a mutagenic growth. Bolt, draw a card. That's fine. The combat. Why are they not playing the show off? Weird. I mean, we're now putting ourselves in double bolt range. Well, Verdant Catacombs. Hedge Maze, to set up the next draw. Okay, return. I don't have the ability to cast both, so I think you put this one into Yard. And draw. Yikes. No reason to play the forest right now. I'll pass. Again, holding back the Myco spawn. They fetch to the Bloodstained Mire. I mean, if I attack both times, they'd be at 8. Tapped. 3 cards in hand and a Slick Shot in exile plotted. Thundering Falls. They must be looking for something to protect the show off, whether it be a mutagenic growth or a consign. Either that, maybe they forgot about it. That's a possibility too. You got to be joking me. Now we're just drawing into duds. Arid Mesa. There's a Slick Shot. I think there's no better time to cast this than right now. Right? If they had something else that would benefit from Prowess triggers or a Quarry Steelcut, they would have cast that prior to. So let's cast this now, see if they have something. They have Consign. Okay, well, that now means that we're one away from dying. So any non-creature spell will trigger Slick Shot, and they will win as a result. 0 top, 1 bottom. There's Corey Steelcut. It is non-creature. Yep. So they must have just been waiting for some way to protect the Slick Shot, which I think was, well, correct. All right. So we will lose for game 2. Let's sideboard for game 3. I'll bring in the Chalice of the Void since we're going to be on the play, and we'll cut the Gemstone in exchange. Run it back. Yeah, because going Chalice on 1 will be pretty strong in this matchup. On the play for game 3 is a turn 3 K command, but that's about it. If we draw into a Soul Land, it gets a bit better. I'm not confident in this. I think we mulligan. Alternatively, we have a turn 3 Trinisphere. I'll keep this. I'll go Verdant Catacomb and pass. And put a pause on end step. The fetch for Stomping Grounds tapped. Fetch of the Wooded Foothill. Steam Vent Shock. DRC. And passing. Fetch a Verdant Catacombs. Stomping Ground, tapped. And draw. Windswept Heath. So we don't have to play the Bog then. I'll go... I mean, I could threaten, quote-unquote, a K command. I think it's better, though, to go Windswept Heath. So I go Windswept Heath. And put a pause on end step. Next turn we can play Trinisphere. And hopefully slow them down. Bobble Trigger. Bobble Crack. Target me, I imagine. I guess they could target self since they have a fetch. Fetch. Steam Vent Shock. Down to 14. Slick Shot. Plot. Okay. Shields are down. Trinisphere seems like a good choice here. Fetch with the Windswept Heath. We'll wait till after to target me with Bobble. Hedge Maze. Wooded Foothill. I'll take the Wooded Foothill. I'm trying to think as far as play cast windows is concerned. Because we're going to go Temple, Trinisphere. Actually, I think we can probably pitch the Wooded Foothill to grave. Now Bob will target me. Draw. Or Bob will trigger, then draw. World Breaker. In that case, we'll play Temp, Trinisphere. Pass. So this will delay the Slick Shot show off. Next turn we can Bajuka Bog and Myco Spawn. 4. I am considering two things. we go Templar Lab is what I'm considering. The World Breaker would be nice because we would be able to kick a land, making it harder for them to cast. Ugin, of course, is another great choice as it starts removing cards from the board. Scouting Tarn fetch. Shock and a Steam Vents down to 11. I think they want to cast a Preordain, but it's going to cost them 3 mana. Corey Steelcutter, that's fine too. Triggers DRC, puts Preordain into Yard, so this Bojuka Bog will be good and keep DRC at bay. Sorry, friend. You want to cast that Bauble, but that ain't happening. Could also be a Mutagenic Growth. We'll keep that in mind. Down to 16. Draw. Another Trinisphere. Don't think that's necessary right now. So I will cast Sowing Mycospawn. I think I will go with an Ugin Lab, but I'm going to imprint the Ugin. I think that is probably the right play here. And then Bojuka Bog, target you, and pass. So no Delirium for you. So you need to be mindful that Slickshot Show-Off is still plotted. And we'll pass. Next turn we can cast World Breaker and get rid of a land, making it harder for them to cast. Especially as right now it seems that they are stuck on 3 lands. Puts Preordain into Grave. That's from the Surveil trigger. There's a land from Arid Mesa. They can still really only cast 1 thing per turn, so World Breaker hitting the land is a bit meh, right? I think instead then we can go after Corey's Steelcutter. Though, it also is pretty difficult for them to play more than 1 card per turn if they don't have lands, right? They could always equip it, but I feel like that's probably not the best play. So I think we go after Steam Vents after all. And go to combat with Sowing Mycospawn. Because how much is it to equip? 2? And that'd basically just be their turn. We now have lethal on board. We'll fetch the Arid Mesa. Thundering Falls. They actually do not want to turn on Delirium here, otherwise we will block with the World Breaker and they'll have 1 less blocker, so they do need to be careful of Delirium. Violent Urge to Yard. 3 card types in Yard. Again, they do not want the 4th, lest DRC will just slam into the brick wall that is World Breaker. EI. Keeps on top. Regardless of what they put in their graveyard, they'll have the block of DRC. Play a land. And then pass. And draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I'm going to go to combat regardless. And force DRC to block. So DRC will block the World Breaker. They'll take 3, go down to 4. Second main phase, I will cast my second Trinosphere. And opponent scoops it up. We'll take the win. Alright, solid win against Prowess. Definitely feeling like the sideboard plan is helping out this matchup a ton. That said, we'll be back for match 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. We'll keep this. There's a few things I would like to see that would make this hand better. 7 mana value spell, of course. K command would be okay. A talisman would be alright. Naming Eldrazi. Okay. Drifter. Casting window wise, I will go Ugin Lab, Imprint Drifter, and pass. And pass. Debated whether or not I wanted to evoke the Drifter to dig a bit deeper. Glaring Fleshraker or a Line Breaker. Looks like Fleshraker. Draw. Windswept Heath. Windswept Heath. Fetch. Stomping Grounds. Shock. I'm gonna say no to Fleshrake. Pass. And pass. That could be a bit aggressive if, big if, this is Brood Scale. Lab. Could still be Brood Scale, but a bit less likely. Blue. Thought Knot. Probably takes the Myco Spawn here. So could be Eldrazi mid, could be Eldrazi Tron. But Myco Spawn is objectively the right choice. Breeding Pool. Well, we don't want to give them additional information. We'll go Caverns. This does mean they can't attack, because we have, for all intent and purpose, a 4/5. The Kozilek's Returning Yard is relevant, as we can sweep the Thought Knot. I'd want to grow this Chrysalis outside of range, which right now we can't. What else you got? There's the Line Breaker. Makes it into a 5/3. Go to blocks. Block. Sack. Trigger. Always yield. And I feel like this is a fair trade in my favor. Yeah, it felt aggressive. I mean, it is aggro, but still. Hedge Maze. I will once again cast a Writhing Chrysalis. And we can grow this one out of range of the K return. I'll play Hedge Maze and look at the top. Another K return. I will put that into Yard and pass. Again, opponent cannot attack unless they want to slam directly into Writhing Chris. Eldrazi. So it says Eldrazi more aggro. 3 cards in hand. What am I most worried about right now? Probably a K command. Draw. There's Karn. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just trying to math out if I can make this work. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of not really. Because I'm going to be one short of being able to play Karn, threaten the board with a liquid metal coating, and then sweep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could also just go Null Drifter to progress the board state and sweep the Thought-Knot Seer. Let's do that. So return Null Drifter to hand. So this is 6, 7. Trigger 1, 2, 3. Cast Null Drifter. Draw 2 cards. K return 1. And no one K return 2. And does opponent scoop? Opponent scoops. Alright. So Eldrazi Aggro, win for game 1. I'll bring in Dismember, bring in Consign. I'm trying to remember if Aggro runs Emrakul. I don't believe so. So we'll cut the Bajuka Bog. Thinking cut Ugin, cut Emrakul, cut 2 Chris. Yes, this seems right. It'd be more aggro though. There's a wonder if maybe Karn should be cut. Because I don't think they play much in the way of artifacts. So maybe if we cut 3 Karn and bring back in Ugin or Emrakul. Probably Emrakul. Yes. Let's play it like this. I think this is right. Because we're not trying to beat them in resources. We're trying to beat them in time, right? We need to perform faster. I will keep this. A lab would make it 1,000 times better. Reveal Devourer. We'll get a better clue about the construction of their deck off of Devourer. Bajuka Bog, Wayscape, Ghost Quarter, Imprint Devourer, no Talismans. Okay. Breeding Pool. I'll go Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. And pass. Another Ugin Lab. Do we have a turn 2 Thought-Knot? It looks like it. Best card to hit here would be Malevolent Rumble. Allows us to get to Emrakul. It digs deeper for potential ramp pieces, as well as potentially for K return to put into yard. So yeah, I think Rumble is right. Yep. Draw. Breaker. Well, in that case, Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi. Talisman of Impulse, and pass. And pass. Next turn, at a glance, kind of looking like we're going to evoke Null Drifter. There's another Thought Knot. We're getting Thought Knot Beatdown, Thought Knot Beatdown. Best card to hit here then is Null Drifter. So we need to draw into something like Writhing Chrysalis to act as a blocker. Yep, Null Drifter's right choice. Alright, well, things are getting a bit worrisome now. K command would also help. Draw. Temple. We should play Temple, because we draw into another soul land, then we'll be able to play the Breaker. So I'll play Temple and pass. And pass. We do have only one turn to find an answer. Thought Knot Beatdown online, we'll take 8. Down to 8. No playables. Draw. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so we currently have access to 2, 4, 5, 6 mana tops. Nothing is playable. We will concede. I mean, double Thought Knot, 'tis good. Move to sideboard. And run it back. On the play for game 3, I'll keep. It's very top deck heavy, but I think that's okay right now. We'll go Rainforest, Sprawl, Red. We have a lot of good hits off the top from Writhing Chrysalis, Sowing Mycospawn, Malevolent Rumble, K Command. So I'm pretty okay with this. Fetch. Forest. Sprawl. For red. And pass. And pass. And if we don't, we can go Talisman, hold up Dismember. That's okay too. They name Eldrazi and pass. Sire 7 Deaths, not what we're looking for. In that case, I will cast Talisman, play Maze, K-Return to Yard, and pass, and hold for Dismember. This way they play Glaring Flesh Rake. We can deal with that on the spot. Line Breaker, same deal. There's the Glaring Flesh Rake. And Dismember. And pass. And draw. K command. Okay, we are in a very good position now. I'll hold. You have K command, X equals 4. Thought Knots here. All right, let's see here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 13, so yes. I'm going to... I think K command... Scry draw. Because next turn we're going to get rid of the Thought Knot regardless. Whether we cast them or Cool Desire is up to them. But point being is the K return will sweep the Thought Knot off board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. Yep. I mean, I think I go bottom bottom, bottom, top the Sanctum, so that way we can tutor up another creature. Alright, what you take? Imagine the Emrakul. I'd be surprised if you didn't. One, two, three, four, five, six. We'll probably need to go for, let's say, a... They do have Ghost Quarter. They did show us that, so I think we want to split up where Utopia Sprawls are. Red. Sanctum. Actually, I wonder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I could go Writhing Chrysalis. It would put a decent body on board. Alternatively, I could go Sowing Myco Spawn and grab a Ghost Quarter. Let me confirm I did not side out Ghost Quarter. I did not, I sided out Bog. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I want the green, thank you very much. So I will go trigger, trigger, sweep, yes, draw, Arriving Chris. So in that case, sacrifice Sanctum. I will grab a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It'd be one short of the Emrakul. We also could go World Breaker instead of Myco Spawn. World Breaker is probably the better choice in the grand scheme of things. So let's go World Breaker. Cast Writhing Chris and pass. And hold. So short of another Thought Knot, we'll be able to cast the World Breaker, exiling the Ugin's Lab, and opponent will scoop it up. Alright, solid win against the Eldrazi Aggro. We'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. Hand's pretty slow and not much corrects it. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay, another Temple, Lab, 7 hits off the top. Better, K-return, uncastable. I'll keep and pitch the return. Opponent has a pre-game action, or no, they mulligan into 6. Okay. Temple, pass, and pass. Verge. Thoughtseize. Yep, takes the K command, as one would. Draw. Emrakul. Play Forest or Cavern of Souls. We'll go Forest and pass. And pass. Marsh Flats. So this could be Blink, which means I think they're set up for Ophelia. I'll go Eldrazi Temple, because this means another Templar or Lab sets us up for a Sire the following turn. Fetch for Ophelia. That'd be my guess. Probably the worst case scenario as well. Plains, Ophelia. Yep. Pass. Overlord of the Bilmerks would be pretty rough right now. Right now we're at 7 for Emrakul, Witch Blessed Meadow, Bolt. So they have something they want to play. Could be a Flicker Wisp. Flicker the Temple. Oh, Flicker. I mean, it gets another body on board, so it's not bad in that regard. Flicker the Flicker Wisp. Yeah, I guess actually probably better to do that. And then they'll end up flickering my Temple. Yep. Draw. Ugh, really? Well, I think we do need a body on board, and ramping with the Sire would be good. So let's do that, as much as I would have liked to have been able to kick. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Might be worth going Lab here, so that way we can play an Ugin if we draw into it. So I'll go Ugin Lab. There's also an argument for going Sanctum, because we'll have 7 for the following turn for Sire. I'll go Ugin Lab. It keeps our options as open as possible. And pass. And return. We'll hold on the off chance they play White Orchid Phantom main, or they attempt to flicker the Ugin Lab again. This actually does guarantee that we can cast the Sire next turn, even if they do Felia Flicker Wisp. Yeah, so I think the lab was probably, a soul land was the right choice, basically. Let me attack in as is. I'll take 8 down to 10. The turn after, though, they'll have to deal the Sire. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shocking the Godless Shrine down to 12. Casting Skyclave. So that'll take the Sowing Mycospawn. And then they attack. Well, they flicker the Flicker Wisp. I wouldn't be against that, is the thing. They will. Okay, so this is fine. We'll take the 5 down to 13. Flicker Wisp will ETB, targeting what? I'll return Emrakul to hand, and they'll flicker the lab. We can always retuck Emrakul after. Sprawl feels a bit meh here, but it could add a type to Yard, so I will do that for red. Play Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. Cast a Sire's 7 Deaths. 4, 6, 8, 11. I'm not dead next turn, which is the important part. There's the Sire. Would have really loved that K return in retrospect. I will put the Emrakul back under and see what they do. Because what they do here does have a significant impact. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need to find a way to deal 2 more damage. Because right now they can flicker the Sire, but that then puts them into lethal range. So I don't think that's the right move on their end. Two. Overloaded Bailmerk. Probably looking for a Solitude if I had to guess. Finds a Flicker Wisp, finds a Bowmaster. Those are fine. Will Felia flicker the Overlord is the next question. Returns Flicker Wisp. Okay. The biggest thing is if I can get an attack in with Sire, then it becomes practically hexproof. If they target with Felia, it also, again, practically becomes hexproof. Play a trigger targeting Sire. 6, 8, 11. Do you pay the word 7? Down to 5. Again, it now practically becomes hexproof and opponent is now in lethal range. I'll go down to 2 unless I suck at math. I'm down to 2. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what's the game plan here? Sire, again, is practically hexproof. You have no blockers on the field. What's the follow-up? End step. White. For what? What is happening? Ephem? Ephem doesn't... Okay, so Ephem the Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp will blink back in. What do you target? Targets Enchanter. Lethal damage is still on board. To combat? Okay. I'll take the win. A bit confused, but I'll take it. Yeah, I feel like the right choice was to Failure Flicker the Overlord looking for Solitude. I think that probably would have been the right move. But onto sideboard. Let's bring in Dismember. Let's bring in Consign. Cut the Bajuka Bog. Cut KGC. Cut Emrakul. Let me confirm that is what it says on my sideboard guide for Blink. Yeah, I think cutting Emrakul rather than Drifter is right here. And then on the draw, it should just be Emrakul, Bog, and Gemstone. Yes. Okay. This looks good. Okay. Let's run it back like this. And the main reason for the Emrakul is just because it is harder to cast into Grave Hate. Emperor Bones, Relic of Progenitus, and the like. Bog Trawler. I'll keep this. Drawn into a Soul Land would be good. Thoughtseize. Aether Vow. Okay, looks like this is a non-Ketramous version, which means Dismember does get objectively worse. 4 red. And pass. And pass. Takes it up to 1. And And Emrakul probably gets a little bit better. They might still play Emperor Bones, though. They definitely still play Trawler. Case in point, an Emperor Bones. Draw. Double Dismember. Misty Rainforest. Fetch for a Shockland. I'm going to fetch for the Breeding Pool. I guess it doesn't matter too much. In that case, Stomping Grounds, since we already have red with the Utopia Sprawl. Stomping Grounds, Shock. Red. Talisman. Rumble. I'll go for the lab. And then we'll hold up the Dismember on the off chance becomes relevant. Aether Vial. I will say Rumbling over the Forest is a bit rough. Just because it's one less forest for us to grab off of White Orchid Phantom. Vindicate would be pretty bad right now, but we'd survive. 3 types in yard, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at most. I'm not sure if we actually do imprint here. Recruit of the Guard will resolve. It will grab a White Orchid Phantom. And I imagine they're going to wait to activate Aether Vial until the beginning of my upkeep. That would be the right time to do so. Actually, probably draw step. Because then the land will come into play tapped and we'll have 1 less land. Felia. That I wasn't expecting. Ember Bones could reduce the number of types in yard. I kind of do want to stop that. I'll dismember the Emperor Bones. With this Emrakul here, I kind of want to play a little bit aggressively around Emperor. We'll still have the Dismember for the Felia, so that's fine. If they White Orchid Phantom, that's fine too. Again, I don't think we'll be imprinting. I guess a good question is what would prompt me to do so. Draw. You have the White Orchid Phantom. Consigned to memory. Well, now we can hold up the Talisman of Curiosity. So, Ugin Lab. No imprint. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No. Cast Writhing Chrysalis. Hold up Consign, hold up Dismember. Will you play the Felia? You do. Do I dismember the Felia is the next question. Are there things that I'm more worried about by comparison? With Felia, we can do something cheeky with the Consigned to Memory. So I think, at the same time, even Interrupter is something that I'm a little bit concerned about. I will trigger and take 4. Felia down. I guess we could also have always consign the Aven Interrupter, right? Aether Vial. You're down to 9, though. I will note that. Dismember is a painful card. But it is good at what it does. I'll tell you that much. Thinking on Aether Vial. What are they considering? What would they want for 3? I guess Trawler? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 3 short of an Emrakul. Keeps it at 2. Okay. 4 cards in hand. Opponent thinks hard on this one. Go to combat. I mean, you're not attacking unless you have Fatal Push in hand. Yeah, that'd be my only thought. If you attack, it's bait, but I think I need to take it, right? No attacks. Just gonna hold. 4, 8, 10. Again, 3 short on Emrakul. But they do kill the Writhing Chris. Okay, so they did have the Bog. Noted. But not gonna bolt it, just plays it. They might be setting up for an Overlord of the Balemerk, would be my thought. Just play land and hardcast it. Aether Vial. Light Orchid Phantom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that will resolve. Not much I can do there. I'll use his ability. For Forest. K returns pretty good here. I think I will hold and see if they try to E-Fem. Aether Vial take up. Was I right about the Overlord? They did take it up to 3. So it does make me feel like they have an Aven Interrupter. Could also be a Flicker Wisp. That is also an option. Emperor Bones. I don't exactly want them stealing from my yard, so I'm going to trigger Resolve. K return. If they have an Aven Interrupter, I can consign the ETB trigger. 2 cards in hand. Casting. Ephem. They're desperate. Do I give them the trigger, is the question. What would they be grabbing for? I want to see, what is the... Is it power, toughness? Toughness. Let me go real quick to Scryfall. Even int. Let's see. It is. They would need another Ephem specifically. I'm going to let this resolve. I want them to grab the Aven Interrupter. Reveals Flicker Wisp. Really? Flicker Wisp target? So I could just consign the ETB trigger, but that would just put it into grave. And they would have an opportunity to Ephem the Phantom. I'm going to leave this be. Sweep. And on end step, we'll consign the White Orchid Phantom from the reflexive trigger from Flicker Wisp, or delayed trigger. Because now they don't have an ability to Ephem it. Consign to memory. There's no reason for me not to replicate. We've learned our lesson there. Same targets and pass. So now the White Orchid stays in exile. I'll play the Talisman and go to combat. And pass. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, short 3. No targets for Ephem unless they have something off the Aether Vial. They do not. Aether Vial up to 4. So it feels like they might have an Overlord in hand. Recruiter of the card. Which Blessed Enchanter? Or which Enchanter? Emperor Bones. They want to get rid of the K return, maybe? Catacombs. 4, 5. I do grow a little bit concerned now with attacking. I'll pass. Aether Vial. Okay, so they are looking to play an Overlord of the Baelmerk of the Aether Vial. Emperor Bones. Targeting. You could Flicker Wisp my Writhing Chris and hit me for 4. That's an option. But you'll go for the K return. I think that is the smart play. No attacks. Second main. Because yeah, if you do have the Overlord of the Baelmerk, you want to do that on my end step, which Blessed Meadow. No Bolt. End step. Fetch with the Verdant Catacomb down to 7. Hedge Maze. Trigger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Funny enough, if I can find a way for them to kill my Writhing Chris, then we can make it work. There's no way they take that bait, though, right? I mean, they have lethal on board otherwise. So I think I have to put this into the graveyard. Yeah, I'm just doubtful they'll take that bait. Draw. Ugh, so unfortunate. Well, okay. So I don't think I have much in the way of choices now, do I? Right? Because if they play the Overlord of Baelmerk, they can grab Flickerous Berfelia. So yes, I'm gonna see if they take this bait. Ugh, unfortunate. Down to 4, or down to 10 rather. Breeding Pool tapped and pass, because yeah, I think they just win as a result. Here's the Overlord of the Baelmerk. Or there's a Solitude. Did it matter? No. Because even if they did Solitude Writhing Chris, I guess I would have been up to 11, 3, 7, 8, Flicker Wisp 11. Yeah, so it didn't matter. Alright. Well, an attempt was made. I think we played to our out. I was hoping that they would play a certain way. They did not. But Jukabog does look better in this matchup, knowing that there isn't a Ketramos. We can cut the Gemstone. And yeah, I think we keep like this. I guess Emrakul, there's still Emperor Bones. I was thinking like, could Emrakul be a good option here? There's still the Bog Trawler, there's still the Emperor Bones, so I'm gonna say no. On the play for game 3. Consign. A land will get us a Mega Spawn on 3. I'll keep it. We'll be able to hold up the Consign. Down to 6. Yeah, so we're looking for is a turn 3 Myco Spawn and do just Sire, World Breaker, right? It does ask for a lot of no interaction, whether it be Thoughtseize or otherwise. Courtyard and Vial. Probably gonna be a Thoughtseize though. Oh, okay, it's a Vial. The pause on end step. Hedge Maze. Trigger. Sprawl. The major concern with Sprawl is simply the fact that they have a White Orchid Phantom or SOL, so I'm going to put that in the graveyard. As much as I would like to have kept it. K-Return. Temple. And hold. You have a White Orchid Phantom. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize will resolve. I can't do anything to interact with that. K-Return's not castable. If we draw into a land, so my Mega Spawn's pretty good. Yeah, I was about to say, I think taking the Mega Spawn is right. And draw. I'll play the Ugin Lab. I will imprint. The question is the Breaker to Sire. I'm going to go Sire. That way if they do impend the Overlord, we can Breaker if we draw into another Soul Land. Aether Vial. Up to 2. Marsh Flats. I mean, they know about Consign. Draw. K command is solid. I'll pass. We can K command X2 if needed. Marshflat's fetch. 4. Shadowy Backstreet. Trigger resolves. Yeah, so we can also K command X3 if needed. If they had a White Orchid Phantom, they would have activated it on my upkeep, so they don't. That's what that tells me. Up to 3 could be a Flicker Wisp. Do you need to be mindful of that fact? Interesting. End step. I think we go K command X equals 2. That way we can still hold up the consign. Done. They could have the Aven Interrupter. I feel like they would have grabbed that last time. With that Recruiter. That felt like the right time to do so. Temple and Sanctum. I like both, not gonna lie. I think I'll bottom the Sanctum though, and I'll top the Temple. Aether Vial. 4. Flicker Wisp. Targeting Temple. Yes, this is fine. Null Drifter. This does mean that I'll not be able to hold up the consigned memory, which is the major downside here. I'm tempted to World Break the Aether Vial, because it does give them more or less more mana, right? So I think I will go that route here. And pass. Nothing else I can really do at this point. We'll fetch with the Marsh Flats. Shadowy Backstreet. Surveil Trigger. So they can always Ephem the lab, but we do have other 7-mana value spells that we can work with, so I'm not too concerned. Here comes a Flicker Wisp. No, Ophelia. Okay, this is fine. They can flicker the Flicker Wisp, hit the lab. 2, 4, 5, 6. We'll be short. But I will be able to Null Drifter regardless. But if they do that, then they'll just slam into the World Breaker. Interesting. I guess they could save it with a Ephem. I feel like they would have Ephem the Flicker Wisp if that were the case. Recruiter of the Guard. Okay. White Orchid Phantom? If they hit the Hedge Maze, that actually could be an issue. It's more likely they'll hit the lab. Yes. That will resolve. Attack with Felio. So they're expecting it to die. So they will flicker the Flicker Wisp or hit the White Orchid. White Orchid will block. White Orchid comes back, hits a Temple. Yes. For a Forest. And draw. Rumble. Rumble's good. So in that case, I will rumble. Or the Utopia Sprawl. It's 2 consigns in this member, jeez. 1 card in hand. I need to hold up the consign, realistically speaking. I'm going to pass, no blocks. Or no attacks, rather. I don't imagine they attack and pass. Another forest. For red. This does mean White Orchid Phantom is a sinkhole now. I'm gonna pass, no attacks and hold. Paying cost for Solitude. Solitude will ETB. They have no way to counter this. So I will simply go... So let that resolve. A. B. K return. Pass. Hold consign. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can play the Sire. We can play Null Drifter. We could have consigned it, yes, but I'm not too worried about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is fine. Aether Vial's fine. Pass and draw. I will cast Null Drifter. Draw 2. I'm gonna say no. Evoke. Talisman. And I was thinking about sprawling, but I'm going to hold here if they can sign up. One card in hand. Attack for 2 to 22. Paying cost 4. Overlord of the Baelmerk. That will resolve. Trigger on the stack. I'm going to consign this. Because the longer you top deck, the better off I am right now. Draw. Another K return. For red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to cast the Sire's 7 Deaths. Trigger. And sweep. Yes. And pass. And pass. You can, for all intent and purpose, play anything in your deck. But opponent's going to scoop it up, and we'll take the win. Alright, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. I'll keep a soul land off the top, makes this really good. So we have 8 hits there. Malevolent Rumble pushes us to what, 11? Yeah. Misty Rain, fetch for a forest, Utopia Sprawl for red. We have access to blue through Cavernous Soul, so I'm not too concerned there. Right now, based on what's in our hand, we're probably going to go Cavernous Souls, Talisman of Impulse, pass. DRC, at a glance, looking like it might be Prowess. Windswept Teeth. No reason to play the Cavernous Souls then. We'll go Talisman of Impulse, play Windswept Teeth, pass, put a pause on end step. Fetch with the Arid Mesa, Steam Vent Shock down to 16, casting Corey Steelcutter, triggering DRC. But we'll put Bauble into Yard. Do they have a Bauble in hand? They do. Triggers Corey Steelcutter, triggers DRC. Surveil. Opponent keeps it on top, triggers Corey Steel, will be hit for 3. Yes. Fetch the Windswept Teeth. Hedge Maze. Trigger. Null Drifter is tempting, but I kinda want... Do I want a land? A soul land would be good. Drifter could dig us deeper, but I think I will put that into Yard. Ball will target me. Because yeah, if we find K return, then that would be a solid play as well. Draw. Cyrus 7 Deaths, not really what we're looking for. Alright, so the question now becomes, very similar to what it was in a previous Prowess match, do we just cast Karn and go for Trinisphere and hope that we don't die? Or do we cast Chrysalis to set up for Karn and Trinisphere on the same turn? I think we'll do it that way. Go Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. Play Writhing Chris. So now we have 7 mana on board. Meaning that next turn we can play Karn and Trinisphere. I will snap block the Writhing Chris. The question is with snap block what? Double DRC, fetch the Wooded Foothill. And they just kind of play out creatures here. I'm kind of okay with that. Shock. Preordain. Double trigger DRC, trigger the Monk Prowess and the Corey Steelcutter. I do get a little bit worried. Lava Dart. Yeah, I do get a bit worried here. This will be the 4th typing Yard. So DRC will have Delirium. Or rather, opponent will have Delirium, DRC will be a 3/3 flyer. Lava Dart will be a problem, I think. We can block the Monk token for 3 damage. So we'll end up taking 6. Down to 9. The problem is then Karn into Trinisphere is not an option. Okay. Well, they're going to go attacks regardless. DRC is required to attack. Go to blocks. I'll block the Monk. Regardless, it's likely to grow to at least a 3/3, the same as DRC. If they have anything else in addition to, or at least mitigating more damage in comparison to blocking the DRC. If we block the one of Trample, then it's just going to trample over damage anyways, so best to block the Monk without Trample. The question is whether or not they want to play the Lava Dart, but it looks like they have something else in hand. They do have Delirium, so something will get double strike here. Shoot. It'll be the Monk. So it's a 4/4 with double strike. Will become a 5/5 with double strike. I'm going to go down to 14. I'm going to go down to 1. Oh boy. 2 cards in hand. Eldrazi Temple. So, Karn into Trinisphere is no longer an option. Karn into EE is also equally not an option. Worldbreaker is not an option, meaning that our only playable here is Cyrus 7 Deaths. We now hope that they don't have a Bolt or a Lava Dart in hand. We can block the Monks, mitigating some damage, and block a DRC. We have a theoretical life total of 8. So as long as we can survive their attack, we're okay. That's a Bolt. We'll concede. Alright. Well, it is what it is. So loss for game 1 against Prowess. Let's move on to game 2. We'll be on the play. So we'll bring in Trinisphere, Chalice, EE. Cutting Gemstone, Ghost Quarter, and Karn. Let's run it back. Trying to think if there's another line when we played Chrysalis. If we had gone with Karn. Played Karn, went Tormod's Crypt. I mean, we could have taken away Delirium. It would have shrunk the DRC. I'm not sure if that would have been right. I'll be going to play for game 2. I'm going to keep. We're kind of gambling here with the Rumbles, but I think we take it. Go Stomping Grounds or Temple? Go Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. And pass. Arid Mesa. Passing. Utopia Sprawl. So in that case, Forest. Sprawl, Forest for blue. That way you can play the Null Drifter. Rumble. I mean, next turn we could have a kicked Myco Spawn, which could delay them. We could also go for Bajuka Bog to get rid of Delirium. Writhing Chrysalis is also tempting, but also allows us to ramp in the Null Drifter, so we'll go Sowing Mycospawn and pass. At worst, next turn we Rumble again. That's fine. No Lava Dart, no Bolt as of right now. Pass. The fact they had no turn one play, though, it does make me think that they have a Consign in hand. So do want to be mindful of that. Paying cost. Okay, there's Slick Shot Show Off. Draw. Perfect timing there, friend. So let's see here. What can I do? I can just play Sowing Mycospawn. Let's see, can we kick Mycospawn 2, 4, 6? No, it'd be short 1. So we can't do that. I can play the Mycospawn, however. 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving 1, 2, 3, tuck the Null Drifter. Alternatively, I can just play the Malevolent Rumble. Do that now. I'm gonna grab a World Breaker. Play the Temp. Play Trinisphere and pass. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. So we can go for the World Breaker. Likely that will just go for a kick to Mycospawn instead. There's Slick Shot, that's fine. So in that case, we actually will go for World Breaker, because it does have reach. 19, draw. Rumble. I'll not fetch. I'll go with Thundering Falls, and opponent's going to scoop because they'll be under 3 lands, probably don't have a land in hand, and Trinisphere will lock them out. Good stuff. I will bring back in the Gemstone and cut the Chalice of the Void. Chalice is much better on the play than is on the draw, from what I've gathered. On the draw for game 2, hand is rough. We're gonna mulligan. Hand's still not good. Mulligan down to 5. Like, what makes his hand better? Specifically Trinisphere, so we can play it on turn 3. Yeah, mulligan. Jesus. I'm gonna keep this one. Dump. Breaker, dump Ugin, and we're going to gamble. Pass. Fetch 19. Steam Vent Shock for DRC. Yep. Draw. Mycospawn. Not what I wanted to see. I need a land here, friend. See, now I want a red source for the Stomping Grounds. At the same time, I need a land. The way for us to dig a bit deeper to ensure we hit one would be a Hedge Maze. Land, bobble, trigger, trigger. Trying to get to Delirium. Dart. Swift Spear. And there's Delirium. So yes, they're going for the quick beatdown, it looks like. 3 down to 17. Windswept Heath fetch. I do think I need to go for Hedge Maze to try and guarantee that we hit another land. Trigger. Glad we did. Bobble. Draw. Oh, son of a... I mean, do we even... It's probably fair that we just concede here. We're going to take 6. We can draw into what? A land? Even a lab here would not get me the desired results I want. Go down to 10. We'd have another 2 turns. I'll see what can be done, but I am not hopeful. Fetch Arid Mesa for Thundering Falls. Surveil trigger on the stack. Another Lava Dart. Yeah. It's like Slick Shot, Swift Spear, Corey Steel Cut. Yeah, this is a GG's. Because that is 9, 11. Yeah, it's at least 11 damage down to theoretically 5. Yeah, we lost the variance there. We normally don't mulligan down that hard, but we really found nothing. So 7 down to 9. $11 damage currently on board. 7 bog. Huh. Well, I mean, it gives me a turn. Bog, target you. Pass. They should have lava darted. Oh, I guess not. They would have put them down 2 lands. They would only do that if they could win from it. Wooded Foothill, Steam Vents, tap. 3, 4 cards in hand. Do we see another turn? Bolt down to 6. 4 damage on board. Down to a theoretical 2. Gut shot to yard. Paying cost for mutagenic growth. That's an additional 3 damage. We're not dead yet. Currently down to 1. Okay, now we're dead. Yeah, unfortunate. Just lost the variance there. Well, you win some, you lose some, and that's alright. We'll be back for match 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the draw for game 1. This one's kind of interesting because we have the Gemstone, we have Karn, we have K-Return. We don't know if it's an aggressive matchup or not. I will keep throughout the Gemstone. We'll throw out the Return and pass. This allows me to go Forest, Sprawl, and then follow up with Lab into Karn. Probably best draw off the top here, Talisman or a Malevolent Rumble. Draw. Ghost Quarter, pretty meh. We'll go for red as we have access to blue. And pass. Running cat. Hedge maze. Okay. Living End, maybe? Misty Rainforest into yard. I feel like they would have cycled. Misty Rain. Interesting. Fetching. Overgrown Tomb Shock. Black. Blue-black frog. Thinking frog. So maybe Sultai frog? Sultai frog. Okay. Draw. Malevolent Rumble. I mean, we can Rumble and Karn. We can force check with the Rumble. I will play Lab. Imprint Sire. Green and colorless. Force check. There's the force. Okay, we'll pass. And pass. I'm trying to remember that one deck we played against that used Bargain and that one creature that had Discover. Was that it? I wonder if this could be that. It's a frog. Draws a 5th card. Do you have a land? You do. Okay, it is. Is exactly what I'm thinking is that Shifting Woodland. Alrighty. So, Utopia Sprawl. So I'm probably going to need... what am I going to need? I'm going to need a Tormod's Crypt. We can Ghost Quarter the Utopia Sprawl, which is nice. They chose green. Eldrazi Temp. Oh. Play the Ghost Quarter. Cast Karn the Great Creator. They don't have double blue, so I'm not afraid of a hard cast force. They could still have a force, though. Bargain? Bargain. There is an argument to maybe having Ghost Quarter the Hedge Maze first. They would have tapped, we could have went to our next phase. They would have lost the mana unless they cast the Bargain in advance. Does Karn resolve? Karn does resolve. I'll minus Karn. Yes. For a Tormod's Crypt. Yes. Karn will die. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I do think I do want to Ghost Quarter the Hedge Maze. I'm going to do that. I was worried about the Shifting Woodland since we have the Tormod's Crypt. Unless they can activate it multiple times. Though they do, I think, play Amulet of Vigor, which is a bit awkward. Maybe going for the Shifting Woodlands would have been right. Interesting thought. Like, cutting them short on mana also means that Shifting Woodlands can't then be activated. Imagine they pitch 2. Pitch a Shifting Woodland. Really? Only going to hit Karn down to 1. Interesting. Could have a Bowmaster, I suppose. But why not pitch another card? Traverse the Uvenwald. There's nothing in the yard for me to hit right now, right? And I guess I could have turned off Delirium for what it's worth. Would that been correct? Oh. And they don't have to tell me what it is either, rather reveal what it is. Oh no, they do? Psychic Frog? Oh, creature or land. I thought it was any. It's another frog. Okay. 2 frogs on board is relevant. Draw. Yeesh. Unswept Teeth plus with Karn on nothing. And pass. Next turn I'll be able to play the Sire's 7 Deaths, granted I don't lose. Imagine the 2-3 hits Karn, the 1-2 hits me. Yes. Frog triggers, draw 2. Karn down. Yeah, I'm still trying to remember, like, I know they have, like, Omniscience, or was it Scenes in the Multiverse? And they want to go off with that by pitching it to Frog and then shifting Woodlands. So you can just hold this Tormod's Crypt and try and hold him at bay, basically. Overgrown Tomb, tapped, end step. Fetch of the Windswept Teeth for a Hedge Maze. Trigger. Lab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lab to grave. Return Sire to hand. And draw. Sowing Mycospawn. I think Sowing Mycospawn's better as we can get rid of the Shifting Woodland. I think that's correct. Target Shifting Wood. If they target something in yard, we can just Tormod's Crypt. And then we'll Bajuka Bog as well. Do we need a Bajuka Bog, though? Probably not. Actually, they have no targets. Yeah, if there was like a creature in there, maybe. Do we want to Bajuka Bog? It would turn off the Lyrium, which is relevant. Yes, I think I do. It also makes it harder for them to float the frogs. So that way they can't traverse the Uvenwald. They can't bestow or discover. We can play the Sire next turn. You still have the Tormod's Crypt available. There's a rumble. Chooses mortuary. That'd be my guess. Yep. Plays the mort. Goes the combat. I choose not the flip the frog. I'll block the 1/2. Forces them to pitch more cards that grow over top. There's Omniscience, so they did have that in hand. One more. A second Omniscience, okay. Frog will hit, draw a card. Do you play the mort? A shifting woodland. I mean, it forces me to Tormod's Crypt now. And pass in full. And draw. Ugin. Ugin is good. If we exile the 3/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of both. I can get rid of the 3/2. Ugin plus draw. Null Drifter. We'll pass at this point. Not much we can do. If they somehow win here, they win. They had both Omniscience and Peer or whatever, right? They can only pump the frog up to 7, so Ugin will survive. I think what I need right now is another Sowing Myco spawn. Either that or a World Breaker to get rid of the Shifting Wood. Attacking me or attacking Ugin? Attacking me. Bold strategy got him. If they just drew into the force, or... Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no. So it depends on what they have in hand here, but they can Shifting Woodland Omniscience. Ah, shoot. Alright, what you got? Uvenwall. Then grab Emrakul. Grizzlebrand. Oh, Jesus. Draw 7. That's all I can do, though. So far. Of course, they would have the 3rd Omniscience in hand. Tainted Indulgence draws 2. Tainted Indulgence draws 2. Tainted Indulgence draws 2. Omniscience, fine. Traverse. What? Oh. I died the Borborygmos? Huh. I mean, not much I could do about that. What did I call this? What did I call it last time I played against it? I don't even remember. It happened like once out of nowhere. It was like Sultai. Omniscience? Yeah, I do not know. Trying to look it up, but I can't find it. Yeah. Well, this is interesting. Shifting Woodlands is an issue. K-Return is not the answer. Consign doesn't really do much here, I fear. Soulish Jailer doesn't do much either. At least not at a glance. Dismember seems right. Do we want to keep the brain in the side or bring it in main? For the most part, bringing in main feels pretty bad. Consign doesn't do much either. Yikes. Bring in the brain? Either that or we keep the return. Keep 2 return? Keep 2 return. We'll do that. Alright. So let me figure out how to categorize this. Like, just Borborigimos. Sultai Omniscience. Maybe just Omniscience. On the play for game 2. Hand does nothing. Best thing we could draw at the top here would be a Malevolent Rumble, 3 hits. That's about it. Even a K command would be kind of meh. Mulligan. Better. I'll keep pitch a forest. Pitch a forest. Done. This way we can find K command off the top, Malevolent Rumble off the top. Yeah, those 2 would be good hits. So looking at 7 hits off the top right now. If we don't, turn 2 cast Null Drifter to dig 2 deeper. And we'll be able to hold up Dismember on 1. Temple, pass, and pass. I guess I should hold and put a pause on end step. Here's a possibility. Rumble, Breeding Pool Shock, Force Check. No force. Think about an Emrakul. Grab the Emrakul. 3 types in yard, hold up Dismember. Next turn we can kick a Mycospawn. Hedge Maze. You know they don't have a force. Frog into yard. Makes me feel like they have a frog in hand that they're going to cast here. Or Grave Shock and Unfroge. And pass. And draw. Another Rumble. I will kick. Kind of want to take out your green sources. Kick. Target. Maze. Go for Eldrazi Temple. Yes, that way we can play the Null Drift next turn. We'll hold the Dismember. I could threaten the frog now, force them to pitch their entire hand. I want to see if they're going to float the frog first. I'd have to pitch a card first, down to 4. If they play a land as well, that means Frog will be dead to Dismember. If they don't sequence it right, at least. When they do attack but don't float, thinking that they're going to run over the Myco spawn, we can Dismember, and it will die one way or another. Pitch. I mean, now they have to choose whether or not they want to pitch their entire hand to Frog, right? Either that or they float. I'm going to just go for it now and see if they want to pitch their entire hand to Frog. Because they'd be left with one land. No cards in hand except for the one they draw for Frog. I'll take 5 damage down to 9. If I draw, let's see, right now we're at 10. There's Consign, there's Emrakul. They're pitching everything. So I'll take 0. Actually, yeah, they can't even hit me with the Frog. It's just a pretty piece now. Well, I guess it's a 1-2. They can hit me for 1. That's fine. Alright. And draw. I mean, we just K command, right? Let's first... Actually, I guess we want to K command first. And done. Short of a Consign, they have nothing. And Bone scoops it up. We'll take the win. Alright. On to game 3. We do want the gemstone, so I'll cut another K return. And run it back like this. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, we can cut the... I guess we do need a Ghost Quarter, never mind. Or the Shifting Woodland. Right. Holding up the Dismember is nice. What makes his hand good? I mean, a land... Another green source gets me to Chrysalis on 3, which is okay. Malevolent Rumble is okay. Karn is not bad. I'll keep it. And pass. They kept 7 as well. Probably gonna go Windswept Teeth unless we draw into a K command or another soul land. Utopia Sprawl also wouldn't be bad. Yeah, so we have some decent hits here. Utopia Sprawl, Malevolent Rumble at the very least is 7 hits. Another soul land would be 14. Stomping Grounds, like I said, gets us to a Writhing Chrysalis on 3. We'll play the Windswept Teeth and hold. Imagine they fetch for us Veil Land. And there's the Hedge Maze. Land. No Frog. Rumble. Consign. Tainted. Takes the Verdant Catacombs or the Sprawl? If they take the Sprawl, they have no land in hand. And so they'll know more or less 2 cards. If they take the Verdant Catacombs, they have no lands. Okay, they have no lands. Good to know. Put a pause on end step. And fetch. Hedge Maze. Trigger. Sprawl. Top. Stomping Ground. Shock. Utopia Sprawl. On Hedge Maze for red? Yes. And pass. Next turn we can get Karn if we want. Hold up the Dismember. Guess we could have arguably went black as well. Reverting Catacombs. And passing? What's concerning? Another Chrysalis. E-Temp. We'll hold up Dismember still. Play Writhing Chris. Let's see the Consign to Memory in hand. No Consign. 2, 4, 5, 6. 7 for Eldrazi. No Consign. Overrun Tomb, Shock. Bargain. Yes, resolves. If they have a Shifting Woodlands, we're in trouble then. If they see an Omniscience here, right? If they had a frog, they would have played a frog. So I'm not as worried about that. They could still have a Force in hand, which does worry me. Force into Yard, though. Okay, that's promising. Traverse the Uvenwald. Malevolent Rumble. That's a problem. If they hit the right cards, we dead? I can't dismember the token, at least not now. There's the Omniscience. Shit. Chooses Kozilek's the Great Distortion. Shifting Woodlands becomes Omniscience. I do not have anything to deal with that. Wonder if I should have just played Karn, traverse the Uvenwald for Grizzlebrand. I mean, I guess if we... Maybe the right choice was to go for Karn. There's Omniscience. Because I guess if we had played Karn and went for Tormod's Crypt, they would have needed the Force in hand. There's Throj. Tainted Indulgence. Looking for Borborygmos. Borborygmos? Is that how you spell it? Or say it? Tainted Indulgence. Draws 2. Bargain. So like I said, looking for Borbor. Emrakul. Yes. I don't think I have a way out. Draw 7, down to 2. Traverse. Borbor. It's a 7/6, so I can't kill it with Dismember. I had been considering hitting the token with this member, but decided against it. I mean, they likely have all they need, right? Kozilek. No draws. Board. I mean, I can't do anything, so yield. There's nothing in their yard. They're playing a bit weird. Thinking maybe it was right to hold back the Karn. But, I mean, our two lines were either A, play the Writhing Chrysalis, B, play Karn. There was no in between. I mean, obviously we took the wrong line because we lost. But it's possible they may have had the Force in hand, right? At the very least, they did have the bargain, and they could have found the Force. So the Karn probably wouldn't have resulted in a different outcome. Yeah. Unfortunate. I'm trying to think if there's like anything else we could have done there, but I don't think so. The Rumble just hit the right card at the right time, so it is what it is. If we had one more turn, we could have done a little bit more. But that said, that there will be the end of today's video. As always, if you guys did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed and mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. It is always appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me and with my success and failure, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. At which point, we'll be able to begin monetizing these videos, which will allow me to start saving up towards a streaming PC so I can stream live over on Twitch. In the meantime, though, if you do want to support me monetarily, you can do so over on my Patreon, where you can get early access to my YouTube videos and any updates I make to my deck guides. With that being said, folks, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!